Magandang hapon po. Good afternoon to my friends in America and family. Today I want to give a shout out to my daughter Anna. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Anna. I hope you have a great day. And today I want to talk about housing and some of the things that I contemplated whenever I was moving here and part of the decision making process that made it a little bit easier for me to pull the trigger on going halfway around the world and kind of reinventing my life. And I haven't regretted it for a minute. And there may be some folks out there that are having little reservations about whether they can retire and move to a place as far away as the Philippines and what it's like. And I'm going to try to give you some of those experiences through my eyes here and what I've experienced, and maybe that'll help you make your decision and decide if you ever decide to hop out of that hamster wheel over in the western part of the world where king dollar or pound or whatever currency you use where you live is all you wake up every day in search of. You can come here and not have to worry so much because your dollar goes quite a long ways in the Philippines. And I'm going to show you guys what that's like here and give you some comparisons as we run through these videos. But today we'll talk about housing. So whenever I initially started thinking about coming to the Philippines, I did a lot of research, and there's a ton of websites on the internet that you can Google up, and like the one that I used heavily was Lamudi, Lamudi .ph. They have just a lot of properties on there, and it kind of gives you an idea of what's available in the Philippines and the prices. And I really like the site because you can distinguish between regions. In the Philippines, it's made up of over 7,000 islands, and they're all different. Each section of the Philippines, they even speak different languages. For example, the island that I live on, Luzon, which is the same island that Manila, the capital of the Philippines, is on. It's one of the larger islands, and the people here speak Tagalog. But down in the central part of the island chain, in the Visayas, they have their own language, Visayan. And then that's also true in the southern Philippines as well. As a matter of fact, Jen and I will be going to the Visayas region on her birthday to a really nice tourist destination called Boracay. And we're going to make several videos while we're in Boracay so you guys can see. It's a iconic place. Anytime you see videos of the Philippines, you normally will see some of that palm tree lined beachfront there in Boracay. So back to the housing. The price range can vary dramatically. I've seen I've seen apartments here as low as 3,000 pesos a month for a studio apartment or a one bedroom apartment. That's just all it is just rooms. It's empty. You have to come in and you can buy furniture, you buy a refrigerator, you buy a stove, and that stuff also is relatively inexpensive. And I'll give you those prices whenever I talk about how it was whenever I moved. And I'm going to probably give the prices in pesos, but rather than try to do a lot of calculations in the video, just anytime you hear me give a price in pesos, just divide it by 56, and that'll give you a dollar value, and you'll see that it's pretty reasonable stuff. So as I said, I saw a lot of apartments that were 3,000 pesos and then it going all the way up and to houses, just beautiful houses with swimming pools and large property lots and that go up to the 100,000 peso mark per month, and that's just not something that I could afford or was willing to do. So I set a budget for myself whenever I first came here because being fairly new at the time, I had no idea where that I wanted to settle down. yeah, I wanted to go out and explore. I'd been to a few places in the Philippines before from my time in the Navy, which gave me a little bit of familiarity, but I wasn't sure yet where I wanted to live. So when we first got here, Jen met me at the airport in Manila, and we stayed at a hotel close to her aunt's house there in Caloocan City. And then the next day, we hopped in a van and went to Lipa City, which was one of the places that I really kind of took a shine to from the research that I had done and thought that it might be a place I'd want to live. And we came here and we rented a hotel, and we started out paying for 3 nights, and we got out, and Jen had a good friend that lived here in Lipa, and she came and met us, and we rode around in a tricycle and looked at a bunch of properties. We just started looking at houses and apartments, and we, I sort of told Jen's friend that I'd like to keep it less than 20,000 pesos a month. And so we saw some properties that were at the 20,000 range and all the way down to the 7,000 range, which is, that's relatively cheap living per month compared to the U.S. When I left the U.S., I was paying, I had a house that I was renting to another couple that the payment on the house was $1,100 per month, which that's quite a lot of pesos. And then I was renting my own place near the high school where I was a teacher in Lebanon, Missouri. Go Yellow Jackets! And I was paying $600 a month for a duplex there. And anyway, 7,000 pesos is quite a bit below $600 a month. And you go and you look, and they'll show you the place. Always, make sure you scope your location if you're interested in living close to the amenities like that you find in a big city, like hospitals and shopping malls, and or whether you want to live way out in the country, which you really want to be careful when you're doing that, because you're isolating yourself from those amenities that can be pretty valuable, especially if you're a little bit older in life. You want to be near hospitals. And here in Lipa, there's 3 really big hospitals, and we're only an hour, a little over an hour away from Manila on the bus, where they have some of the really nice big hospitals, and the best doctors in the Philippines work there. So we rode around, we checked some places out. We ended up seeing a really nice place over in Plaridel that I mentioned in an earlier video, and we took it. It was 18,000 a month. It was just month by month. We didn't have a lease. Excuse me. And it was a nice area. We liked the people. It's just it was right on the road there, and you could hear the traffic going by constantly. It was, and it the house itself, it just couldn't be beat. It was gorgeous. As I said earlier, there's a short video. The first one I posted, it was of that house. It was really nice, but there just wasn't enough room to move whenever you went out the gate. So we immediately started looking and looking for another place, and we found this subdivision, Plantation Meridian, on the it's out about probably 4 or 5 kilometers from the downtown area of Lipa City in Batangas, and it's only about 15 kilometers from the capital of Batangas, which is Batangas City, to the south of us, and that's where the ocean is and the big deep sea port. It's where immigration is. They have a lot of services there in Batangas City. But Lipa City is the most populous city in the province of Batangas. So living in Lipa, it's really cool. And we're just a short drive from the mountains, very short drive from the very famous Taal Lake, which has a volcano in the center of the lake. And it's an unbelievable place around here. And I'm going to share all of that as we go along. We've already vacationed in Boracay once. We've been to Puerto Galera. which is on the island of Mindoro. You have to ride a boat to get there. And we've been to Tagaytay, which is up in the mountains overlooking the Taal Lake. Got some beautiful photographs from Tagaytay where you can see the volcano down there early in the morning. And it's a great place to live. But of course, everybody's different. Some people want to live on the beachfront. Some people want to live in the jungle. Some people want to live in an isolated island where they'll see no foreigners like myself walking around. I know when I first got here, uh, it was still during pandemic times. I got here in August, almost 2 years ago, August, and they still had all of the restrictions. I had to do a 10-day quarantine when I landed in Cebu City, and then get swab tested, and then fly from Cebu to Manila, where Jen picked me up. And they were really restricting the people that could come in. I was able to come in because we were already married. If at the time, if you had tried to come in on a tourist visa, that you would have been unsuccessful. But that was really good for me because the housing was wide open. All of the Westerners, a lot of them had left during the pandemic because they got locked in, and the second they were allowed to leave, they kind of got out. But now they're really starting to come back in. We go to the malls and the grocery store, and I see Western guys all the time. And Lipa is not really well known for having a lot of foreigners, but I see a lot here. And when we go up to Manila, I see tons of them. So anyway, we lived here in the subdivision, and we met a couple. I've already mentioned this. I'm not going to go over it again. And we ended up getting into a rent to own agreement, which is worked out really nice for me because in less than 3 years now, we'll be living in a nice place here, and we'll have no housing costs whatsoever. That's tough to beat. And if we got the travel bug, we could rent this place out, move to another place, and have an extra stream of income, and rent us a $7,000 or $8,000 place on another island or on the beach, and for as long as we wanted, and then come back, and we always have a house here. So that's just one option that's available. And, another is the condominium. There are a lot of condominiums available, especially in the heavily populated areas on all of the islands. And the condominium is one place where a foreigner can actually buy and own in their own name a condo unit. But for me, I just wasn't interested in paying condo fees, living in a high-rise building, and that's just not my thing. I, I'm not into that. But if it's something that you can like, there's a lot of people that do that. They own the condo. It does have its amenities. Most have gyms and swimming pools, and it's secure parking. You have armed guards that guard the facility at all times. And well, I mean, I feel very safe where I live. I've never felt any sense of danger whatsoever in the 2 years that I've been here. We'll talk about safety in another video. Those are just some of the available options that you have for housing. And I guess the biggest thing that I would say to somebody that's looking to come here is you're going to be able to find a place to live, and it'll fit anyone's budget. It just depends on what you like and what amenities you actually want. Do you have to have hot water? Which for me, we lived for a year in a house without hot water, and I was perfectly okay with that. It's hot every day, even in the winter time, it's still hot here. It feels good to get under that cool water, and I didn't have a problem with it. But whenever we bought the house here, we went ahead and bought the hot water heater because it's nice to take a hot shower every once in a while. But I could easily do without it if I needed to. But as a retired person, it's like, why would I give it up? It doesn't cost me that much to use the hot water heater. It's on demand. It only runs when we're using the shower. Yeah, but we'll talk about bills and the cost of stuff in a later video. But you'll be shocked to see some of the things that you can buy here. I mean, just one, I'll give you one example, and I'll leave it alone. And it's like insurance, okay? Like insurance for my truck in the U.S. I had insurance with Geico. I was the only person on the policy. All of my kids are grown. I was living single life in Lebanon, Missouri, and I had full coverage on my Dodge Ram four-wheel drive, and I was paying $112 a month. Okay, so I mean that's not so expensive in the USA. I mean you can get it cheaper, but I mean for me that was relatively inexpensive. And then now I have insurance on my motorcycle, and it's for the whole year it's 450. But that's pesos, my friends. That's $10 a year for the insurance on my motorcycle. It doesn't cover any health or accident insurance like that, but it does cover like the vehicles, the other person's vehicle, should you be involved in an accident, any liability that you have for the law. So that, I mean, that's hard to come by. That's it's hard to beat. That's quite a comparison. You know, I'll give you a lot of others. Some things are actually more expensive in the Philippines than they are in the USA, and a lot of things, many things are less expensive, and some are way less expensive. But anyway, I just wanted to give you just kind of a heads up or just a little bit of an idea about finding a place to live here in the Philippines. And I'm going to close out this video with a tour of our house here so you can see the, kind of house that you could get. We pay, it's less than $600 a month with the exchange rate. And we have 30 payments left. And when those 30 payments are done, then we don't have a monthly payment. And whenever we were living in our other place in another part of the subdivision here, my housing payment was only 13,000 pesos per month. So you divide that by 56, that's pretty low rent for a 3-bedroom house. And it was a nice place. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and it's beautiful here, sunny, Saturday afternoon, just loving life and relaxed. It's just hard to describe what bliss it is to live in this place. Anyway, I love everybody, and hope you guys do well. And I'll see you at the next time on the video. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye. I'm going to walk out the front here so you can see what she looks like from the outside. Catch a view down the street both ways where we live. And this is the outside of our place right here. Nice gate in the front for the vehicle, and a walk-in gate here. Nice plants in the front. Perfect for two. Just Jen and I here. It's really nice. We enjoy it very much. Come into the carport area. It's where we keep our shoes. Sometimes we like to sit outside in our poor boy lawn chairs there and recliners and drink coffee out here. It's a lot cooler outside in the morning than it is in the house. Got my solar charging pack there charging up. It's pretty easy to get a full charge here. There's a lot of sunshine. It's our little table that we use. We sometimes eat outside. And this is the front of the house, just inside the gate. Jen has some nice plants out here. She takes care of these things really well. But things grow so well here in the Philippines that they don't require a whole lot of care because you get a lot of rain, a lot of sunshine, and a lot of warm temperatures. Then we have this little cove back here in the back where I'm planning on setting up a barbecue grill and barbecuing. Just hadn't got to it yet. Then we have a sliding glass door here that goes into the house. It's a double slider. It also has a gate in front of it for security, just to keep anybody from wanting to come in and try to take something. We when I first got here to the Philippines, Jen and I rented a house in another barangay here in Lipa City in Plaridel, and it was really nice. If you look at that very first video that I posted on our channel, it's there's not much to it, but that's the house that we lived in for a few months when we first got here. It was a really beautiful place. It was 18,000 pesos a month, which was the exchange rate at 56. You can do the math and figure out how many dollars it is. Here's the back door into the house, and this is the line where we hang some of our laundry here. We have another collapsible line up in the front that we put up whenever we do a lot of laundry. Extra gas bottle here. Everything here is, all of our cooking is done by gas. In the Philippines, outdoor sink and kitchen area is called a dirty kitchen, and this is where you clean your fish if you have any fish, or a lot of people will do some cooking out here. We have an extra stove that we don't actually use right now. We used it in our last house. This is all where our washer is back here. And we just have some extra storage area back here where we keep some laundry materials and just some knickknacks, my tools and extra stuff down here. If you know anybody that wants to buy a stove, I got a nice 4-burner right here. Sell it to you cheap. So we'll walk back around to the front and go inside of the house. And before we do, though, I'll show you that tree that's sticking right up above the retaining wall there. That's a calamansi tree, which is a little fruit about the size of a nice marble. I'll show you one if I can get it on there. Right there. It's like the Philippine equivalent of a lime, and they use it a lot in cooking. So anytime that Jen needs something for one of her recipes, I come out and hop on the step ladder and crawl up there and pick some calamansis off the tree. The fruit grows like crazy here. I know I mentioned that already. This is the collapsible clothesline I was telling you about here. You just set it up and put clothes on it. And we'll go inside here, take my outdoor shoes off here. As we come in, this is the living room. We'll pan around. We still have a lot of empty space in here that we're going to work on filling in. Got my 1 degree and picture of a real handsome guy there. I don't recognize him. See if I can get it without a glare on it. Some of you people will probably recognize that guy there. He's pretty cool. That's back from 1978. This is our entertainment center. Internet comes in here. I have 2 sources of internet. We have fiber, and we also have just a wireless connection to a cell tower. You can see an old high school yearbook of mine down there. These are those sliding doors that I was showing you. We have several fans about the house, and as hot as it is here, we definitely use the fans quite often. There's another one. Our dining table, refrigerator, really high ceiling. I don't want to shine it right at the light because then it'll, but you can see that it's really high ceiling. Really nice place. But anyway, after we left Plaridale, over at the house that was 18,000, we moved to this subdivision, Plantation Meridian, and we rented a house over in another part of the subdivision for 13,000 pesos a month. It was a pretty nice house, 3 bedrooms, and we didn't have any neighbors on one side, same as here, and just neighbors on the other. That's your water. Here in the Philippines, you don't drink the tap water. That's for sure. And you don't cook with it. So what we do is you go out to the refill station and get your water refilled as needed. And a big container this size here is 30 pesos to fill it up, which is, a little more than 50 cents. And it lasts about 3 or 4 days. Every 4 days or so, we go out and get another bottle full. So that's pretty reasonable. Then the bathrooms here. Oops, don't want to show that. This is the shower. I had to buy the hot water heater. While we were living here in Plantation Meridian, we met this retired couple. They're really nice folks, and we used to walk, and we'd see them out walking every morning, and they wanted to show us their house, and that ended up being this house that I'm showing you right now. And after talking with them a while, they wanted to move away, and they wanted to sell this house. So we went and sat down with an attorney and ended up buying this thing on an installment plan. They filled out a contract at the attorney's office, and we pay the equivalent of $600 US a month for 5 years, and then we own the house. That's absolutely pretty good deal. Not the kind of deal you're going to get in the U.S. I mean, no doubt. It's interest free. There's no interest whatsoever. It was just the total cost of the house divided by the number of months. And then that was our payment. And when it's done, we own the house. We go back to the attorney. They sign the title, and my wife owns the house. In the Philippines, foreigners aren't allowed to own property, which is okay. It's okay by me. This is kind of something I wanted to do for Jen anyway, so that she would should, God forbid, something happen to me, she'd always have something as well, an asset. This is our bedroom. It's the only air conditioner we have in the house, and we only run it during the hottest months of the year. And then whenever it does get really hot, we'll run it in the afternoon for a couple hours and come lay down. And then at night, we'll run it for about 2 hours before we go to sleep. And it shuts off automatically while we're sleeping. Anyway, that's our room. This window goes back out to the carport area. We got nice screens on all the windows. This was something my softball girls gave me on my 56th birthday at Lebanon, Missouri. They all signed it. It was a really nice gift. I really appreciated that. Callie Blattle, if you ever hear this, I want you to know, tell you and your parents, I really appreciate that. And this is the kitchen. This is our oven here. It's an electric toaster oven, works great. Got a microwave here. A lot of storage place for our dishes, pots and pans there. The rest of them are here. Covered space there. You can see some products there are American in nature. And you can buy American type stuff at one of the stores here called the S&R, which it looks like a Costco or a Sam's Club. This is a rice cooker. If you live in the Philippines, you better love to eat rice, which I do, and probably pretty obvious to everybody after seeing me. Then more covered space up here. We like to eat our microwave popcorn at night when we're watching movies on Netflix. And let's see, I guess that's about it. That's our house, and at the current rate that we're paying it off, because we pay more than the minimum every month, and little less than 3 years now, we'll own this place, and then have no housing costs whatsoever in our budget, which will be really nice. So that was my goal, was to get here and to find a place and end up living there for free. Because in a later video, I'll kind of detail the financial aspect of living here. So many people put cost of living videos on the internet for the Philippines, and I don't really see a need to do another one, because no matter how many videos that you watch, or yours is going to be different. Every person's different when they come here. Depends on how you live, how you want to eat. That's one of my favorite things to eat right there, pork chicken adobo. In Tagalog, it'd be adobo manok. Yes, I love it. But that's just one of the many favorites that I have here. It's a pretty healthy living, pretty healthy recipes. I had to talk Jen into moving away from vegetable oil, and now she cooks with olive oil. That made a huge difference for us. And anyway, I'm going to sign this off for now and talk to you guys on the flip side. Take it easy. If you ever see that guy playing ball anywhere, tell him I said hello.